moving on into the last thing that we cover in here today would be Shang-Chi. I actually got a chance to go and sit down and watch Shang-Chi this weekend. I didn't think I would be able to fit it in, but I was able to fit in Shang-Chi, and I must say this. Shang-Chi feels like, to me, just, fan talk here, Shang-Chi felt like watching Black Panther for Asians. And that might sound racist. I don't know. Maybe some people might not like the way I delivered that, but when I watched Black Panther the first time, there were certain scenes that as I saw them unfolding on a screen in a huge audience at the time, I felt a sense of pride because I saw African traditions and African tribalism being honored and not being made fun of. And as I watched Shang-Chi, I felt the same thing. Not that I'm a part of Asian culture, but as I watched it, I was like, this is honoring Asian culture and not making fun of it, not belittling it. I feel like this is extremely well done. I feel like if there's an Asian who hasn't seen this yet, and when they do see it, there will be a sense of pride in how this film is crafted. So that's just the overall scope of it. I enjoyed it a whole lot, but I do want to give you my breakdown and my thoughts as to where Shang-Chi landed in the scoring range on my little scale. So let's get into that. Starting off with the story. I believe I gave the story a 9 out of 10 because the story was nice and tight. It was done very well. I feel like I didn't want to like Awkwafina. I really didn't want to like her character. I thought they would do too much with her, but I enjoyed it. I enjoyed her character because they did just the right amount with her. There were some things toward the end, like having her kind of do something really pivotal toward the end. I kind of didn't care for that. I would have liked to see something else happen. But for the most part, it was a pretty good ride with her along for the ride. Shang-Chi himself, seeing his journey, nice little journey, seeing the family dynamics that's present in the film unfold, very good. There was nothing that I was really unsatisfied with when it came to the story. The pace, I was a little bit more crucial on. Not that the pace wasn't good. There was action throughout. There was comedy throughout. There were story elements being unfolded throughout. But I can remember specifically watching it in the theater and feeling like, man, I kind of want something to happen. And in that moment, something happened and some action kicked off. I don't remember exactly what part of the story that was, but I do know that there were times that I kind of wanted to see just something pop on the screen. And then when it popped, I was like, oh, okay, great. Something popped right when I wanted it to. Maybe it was me being antsy, I don't know. But there were times where I wanted a little bit more, or I wanted something to kind of jump off the screen. And it did. I don't know. But I did deduct points in my mind for that. I kind of feel like it could be a little bit faster, a little bit tighter. I don't know. Maybe I'm being overly critical. But moving from pace of the movie into the visuals of the movie, it's hard to argue the visuals. Hard to argue the visuals at all because the CG was great, but there were 2 times throughout the movie that I feel like either it's lighting or the way y'all chose to film this. I think specifically to one of the fights on the exterior of a building. It was night, it was dark, you're fighting people dressed in black with these little light sword things. And there's a lot going on, and I couldn't track it. It was kind of difficult for me. And then toward the end, there was a huge battle going on. The back half of that huge battle, I don't want to reveal everything, but that battle had some disorienting stuff in it, and I kind of felt like I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening. So those were the only 2 moments when it came to visuals I didn't understand it. Performance-wise, visual performance, what do we see from people? Great. There's no complaints about that. And speaking about performances, the father in this movie, we all know from trailers, he's the villain. People have elevated this man to be the best, one of the best Marvel villains. I wouldn't say all that. What I would say, knowing his story, seeing what he could do physically on the screen, and then being a married man, a man with a family, and seeing how his story unfolded, I would say that he is, bar none, he is the most identifiable and sympathetic Marvel villain that we've ever seen. It was very, very easy to connect with him. The reason why he was doing the things that he was doing was incredibly understandable. I can understand why you couldn't reason with him at that point, because love, man. Like, there was a lot that went into that. But love is the main reason why you couldn't reason with him and why he was so determined. And it's hard to be mad at a guy like that. It's actually easy to root for a man like that. So, very, very good villain, which made the movie very good. We know Marvel's weakness is they don't have great villains. I think they have a great villain in Shang-Chi's father, and also his motivations. It just made him really, really sympathetic, made him someone that people can identify with very easily. Great performance from him. Moving right along into the entertainment value, 10 out of 10. The action was so good. Like I said, I kind of wished it was spaced a little bit better, but super good fight scenes. One of the things I noticed that throughout the movie, there's not a lot of look like or would appear to be stunt work. It looked like there was the guy who played Shang-Chi actually doing the majority of the fights, which is always impressive to see, actor's face shown. Shang-Chi is not a hero with a mask, so you see, he's present doing things throughout the movie, and I enjoyed seeing it. The action was very, very tight. The CG was very, very nice. No complaints entertainment wise. The soundtrack was good. The way they chose to use hip hop elements. I was wondering if people made complaints of cultural appropriation. I didn't feel that. I did feel like maybe that's a youth thing, like Shang-Chi being relatively young and hip, cool. There's a lot of rap music playing. I didn't expect that, but then I don't know about what the young Asian culture is into. So they might be into the rap music. I know for certain they're into pop, but I don't know how much they like our stuff. So, but as a black man hearing a whole bunch of hip hop type beats, like it's cool inclusion. I like the way you did it. I loved it in the marketing, and I loved it here. So good stuff. And moving on to the last point of rewatchability, very high rewatchability, because for me, I saw this solo, but it's like I got back, talked to the wife. She was like, "What you think about the rewatchability? If we got time later on, you want to go back and see it?" It's like, hell yes, I want to go back and see it. So absolutely, I would recommend it to anyone who likes Marvel films or comic books or just plain action. Like, there's a lot, and there is no need to know the whole Marvel pantheon. Now, I will say, if you don't know the whole Marvel pantheon and you don't remember everything, there are some jokes that you're gonna miss. Like, other people will laugh and you will not, and it's because you don't know everything. But yes, I highly recommend this. I would go back to the theater and pay money to see it again. Or if things in my household are busy enough, or friends are busy enough and they can't go see it, and we want to watch it when it comes out on streaming, definitely would get together and watch it on streaming, because it was good. It was a very, very good movie. And I think, if I'm going through everything in my mind, I think that's it for the whole week this week. We covered a few different topics. I enjoyed going over everything with you all.